Well, I finally got out just to see the Batman, and now it's time for me to rank all 13 theatrically released Batman movies, including the two animated features. Let's get right into it. You might be surprised that I have Batman Forever this low and over Batman and Robin. Because Batman and Robin is next, spoilers, but my reason is Batman Forever is not consistent in its tone, because I'll explain it better in Batman and Robin, but it's that the movie doesn't decide if it wants to be a campy flick or a drama that goes into Batman and his psychology, because there's like 40 minutes cut from this film because like this whole plot about Batman and his identity comes like 40 minutes into the movie, and it's weird and how it's resolved. So that's the biggest issue, is that it doesn't know what it wants to be, if it wants to be dark or not. That's the biggest issue. But it definitely does show like that Joel Schumacher does have care for Batman, that he likes Batman, even though he really, like, at the end of the day, he lost to the studio with the cuts and Batman and Robin being like controlled by toy companies. It does make you think how this franchise would have been turned out if Joel Schumacher actually did make Batman '89, and it probably wouldn't be as campy as these movies would, but it is definitely interesting to note. And yeah, the betrayal of Two-Face and the Riddler is pretty appalling, even though they look like they're having a hell of a time. Or not, because they hate each other. And Val Kilmer as Batman is just a little generic, but overall, I don't really hate Batman Forever. I just think, I think it's the worst just because of how inconsistent it is. It's basically, it's the Justice League of Batman movies, if that sounds weird to you. So this is above Batman Forever. It's because it's consistent in its tone. It's a campy family kids film, and it's that throughout the film, and that's why I give it a boost, because it doesn't feel like it's struggling like it's two movies. It just feels like a movie, and yeah, it's bad, and it's corny. It's entertaining at least, and like it's, I know though there's all stupid stuff in it. Like it's a fun dumb movie to put on, and I don't think it's that bad. But what it has done to Batman is definitely something that it should like be tried for. But overall, Batman and Robin to me is just kind of a film it's just kind of whatever to me. It's a mediocre mess of a movie. It's bland, and it's a toy commercial, and this is definitely when Batman needed to shape up a bit. So now we're done with the Schumacher films. Let's just get on to better movies. All right, so number 11. Yeah, I know I'm gonna get so much hate for this, but I really don't like this film that much. I think I think Justice League, like 2017, and the Snyder Cut are better than this. It's just such a movie that it doesn't really it's just trying to set up try to set up movies, but instead we just get this like instead of getting Batman v Superman, we get these other movies that are trying, like this movie that's trying to set up other movies, and it's annoying. And it's just kind of, it's just one of those comic book movies, like Iron Man 2 or Avengers Age of Ultron, where it's trying to set up other movies, and it doesn't work. And yeah, because there was like a good like Batman v Superman script that was written, and it had a really, yeah, I mean, it was dumb. It had Joker clones, but it still was interesting. It gave you Batman versus Superman, but now we get to this, which is trying to be a combination of The Dark Knight Returns and Superman Lives, when it should just be Batman v Superman. But I mean, when it gets to the third act, it's fun. Like, it kind of like, you kind of have to now accept it as, like, this is what it is. But the movie, it just fails to actually give us Batman versus Superman. And that's the biggest crime that this movie caused. But, so yeah, that's Batman versus Superman, on to number 10. Oh yeah, these 10 movies I really do like. I enjoy all of 10 of these movies. But Batman Returns I am definitely split on, because I think it is good. Like, the set design is brilliant. Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman is phenomenal. Danny DeVito's good. But the problem is that the origin for the Penguin is just awful. It's just, like, it's definitely not the comics, and I just don't like this idea of, like, he's a deformed person, and when he should just be the Max Schreck character, who I think was even supposed to be the DA, Harvey Dent. But I don't know why they couldn't just make him the Penguin. Like the plot would have made more sense, because now, as this, like, businessman who's, like, this owner of this factory that wants to suck all the power, but in order to do that, he must become the mayor, and so, he has these, like, goons that terrorize the city. It's actually good. I think that would have been fine. It would have been a fine, plot, like, crime thriller. But no, it's Tim Burton, and he has to make a film about these outcasts. The thing that I found very sad is that we already have, like, the ultimate Joker, because as we evolved from the TV show, we got Heath Ledger, who's the best, and now we got, like, Paul Dano as, like, the Riddler. But I don't think but I don't think we haven't made any improvements on, like, the Penguin, and I still think Burgess Meredith is still the best Penguin, and it's sad that, that DeVito, who is good, but he's just written horribly, and Colin Farrell doesn't even wear a top hat. Come on, guys, why couldn't you just give him a top hat? We'll get to that movie soon, but anyway, Batman Returns, it's definitely fun, it has its moments, but it's just, its script is not good, but it's definitely fun to watch, and they were definitely going somewhere interesting with Batman and a relationship with Catwoman, but it's just let down by a bad plot and just a terrible origin story, and failed at having Robin and Two-Face in it. Alright, on to number 9.
Batman, Mask of the Phantasm, the animated movie, coming for a Christmas you'll never forget.
I know. This is, like, the best animated Batman from the best animated show. Okay, well, to be honest, I think Avatar's a bit better. But I know. But I just like Lego Batman better. And I just think the other Batman movies, the other 7, the other 8 are just a slight bit better. Because I do think this film is good. I think it has a lot of good stuff that goes into Bruce Wayne. I think Kevin Conroy, Mark Hamill are great voice actors. But the movie, first off, I think it's too short for a movie that was meant to be a theatrical release, which it did, but flopped. And this movie was meant to go to VHS, just letting you know. This was intended to be a VHS release, but then Warner Brothers was like, oh, this is so good, we should put it in theaters. Christmas flopped hard, and I mean, with it kind of like flopping, it definitely has like caused it. I guess this is the reason why we have all these like DC animated movies that go straight to DVD, because how bad this movie flopped. But I do think this movie is good. It has a really good like twist. The Phantasm plot is really good. I like how it all ties together with Batman's past. But I don't think there's not enough meat. There's not enough meat. I think because it's too short. It's an hour and 12 minutes. And I know, yeah, but like I think there could have been like 40 minutes added to this, guys. I know animated films are shorter, but I just feel like this movie it's too short. And even the animation, it's not that grand enough. But I will give it this, at least it didn't add stupid CG to the animation, which I hate. I hate this era of animation when they were just adding like CGI to the animation, but I can't get more into that. But Batman Phantasm, character-wise, it's great. Story-wise, it's good. It's just, I feel it just feels too much like this was for VHS. I know also another big surprise. I think Batman Begins is good. I do have respect for it for making Batman more respectful to Batman, making him like not a joke and making him more serious and going into Batman, making him more of the focus with this trilogy. But compared to the other two movies, the next two movies, there's a lot of script problems and Katie Holmes is not that bad. And it's the one that just kind of comes off as a origin film, and I think just origin movies are kind of hard to, pull off because you got like the great first half, but then like the second half just kind of goes downhill. It's because the only because I feel like there's like only like really like one good like origin film. It's like either like Superman the movie and like Spider-Man the most like as a good origin film that like doesn't have a crappy ending, but Batman Begins is good. It fails when it comes to the ends, and I'm not the biggest fan of Liam Neeson or Cillian Murphy as the villains. And the action, is really bad. Which goes into why I think The Dark Knight is definitely is the best movie sequel. But yeah, Batman Begins, I respect it, but it's got its issues. But the stuff is really good in it.
So gentle like.
I know how Mask of the Phantasm is so respected, but I really love the Lego Batman movie, guys. It's great. Just one of these Lego movies, besides the second part, have definitely been some of like the best like animated films I've like out there today. Up there with like Pixar. I love the Lego movie, the Lego Batman movie, and Lego Ninjago, and the Lego Batman movie is definitely a really just funny film that like really is just like it's a good kids film that's for kids and adults to both enjoy because it's a film that everyone could enjoy. I mean, it's a Batman movie where Batman fights like villains that are not even from DC Comics. It's just great. I don't know. I love the hell out of this film. It's a great love letter to the Batman fans, and it's a great love letter to Batman. It's a great love letter to Batman overall, and I just love this film. I love Will Arnett, Michael Cera, Ray Fiennes in their roles. You almost like wish they were like Ray Fiennes as live action Alfred. I'm pleased to make that happen because the Catwoman in this film is the same Catwoman in the new Batman movie. I forgot the name, but why can't we have? I really want to see Ray Fiennes as Alfred, and I also just love they brought Billy D. Williams just to play Two-Face. That's amazing. This is just some of the perfect voice acting for a movie. I just highly enjoy the Lego Batman movie. It's definitely one of the best animated films. Totally snubbed over Coco. It's the dull movie. This should have won Best Picture. I mean, for Best Animated Feature. Like all the other Lego movie, like the Lego movie, both snubbed at the Oscars. Probably two of the biggest animation snubs of all time. But love the Lego Batman movie, and I know some people are mad. I know you're mad, but I love this film. Yeah, it's not Batman. It came out during the Silver Age, but this movie's funny. I can't help it.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
It's just such a fun roller coaster of a movie, and this and the new Batman movie is like the only Batman movies where Batman is in the movie more than Bruce Wayne, and it's the only really good like Batman and Robin movie, and it's the closest DC Disney film that we ever had because this was made by 20th Century Fox, not Warner Brothers. So yeah, Batman 1966, it's just a joyride of a movie that just keeps going. And it never stops. Like, I feel like this movie it keeps on going. There's 4 villains in it, the Riddler, Joker, Catwoman, and the Penguin in their Penguin submarine, and they just, and their plan is to dehydrate, world leaders at the UN, and the ending is just brilliant, and it's kind of just great commentary on today. So I can't help it. Batman 1960. I know. I like Batman 1966 over Batman Mask of the Phantasm. I know I sound insane, but I'm sorry. I can't help it. I just love Batman the movie. All right. Okay, guys. All right. Please give me a break. Well, the new Batman movie is here, and it's pretty awesome. I might have to see it again because of how long it is. Like, I mean, I did get up once, and I definitely had one of the worst like audience viewing. But that's another story. Oh my god, I'm just gonna say this in the theater. These like kids literally like shine their flashlight in the theater to make like the Batman sign. It's like I'm not joking. That happened in the theater and no one stopped them. But anyway, The Batman by Matt Reeves is definitely like the best when it comes to like it really is the first time you feel like Batman is this detective with Jim Gordon and solving crimes, because this movie is a murder like whodunit mystery. And I didn't expect it to be that way, and I enjoy it. Like I love these actors. Robert Pattinson as Batman is great. I mean, Andy Serkis as Alfred is pretty great. I keep forgetting her name, but the one of the wives from Mad Max Fury Road is great, and Colin Farrell as the Penguin is good, but he's just, come on guys, just give the Penguin a top hat. The Riddler is great, but I'm sorry, I really just hate the biggest issue is the villain designs. Like, I just wish the Riddler had like a green, just give him a bland green suit, please. Make him something that makes me think of the Riddler. But Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon is great. And just having John Turturro in the film as like Carmine Falcone, I think is just amazing. This is just it's a great cast, and just like really brings Batman to who he is, a detective. And this is the film that best depicts him as a detective, and also Batman 1966 does it good too. But the Batman, I need to see it again, but I enjoyed it anyway. So why do I like the new Batman 89 over the new Batman? This.
Shine. Let it splash.
Oh, hey, the new king in town. Young and old, gather round. Yeah. Black and white, red and green. The funkiest thing you ever seen.
Name what his name is.
Party man, rock a party like.
Whenever this movie gets talked about, everyone talks about Prince. Everyone has to shut up. It was the 80s, all right? They were forced to do it. Jack Nicholson is, that scene is just hilarious. It's such a hilarious scene. Jack Nicholson is great as the Joker. I mean, I just think overall, like, we had this, like, chain of, like, three great Jokers, Cesar Romero, then Jack Nicholson, and then Heath Ledger, and then the chain was broken by Jared Leto. And then there's that one by Joaquin Phoenix, but that was Arthur Fleck. That was not the Joker. But it's just, it is something that I find to be very fun to watch. I love the production design, making Gotham into this, like a Murnau-esque setting is, I think it's incredible. Just like the set design is overall brilliant, and I just love how it just kind of feels like you're watching like the beginning of something, and just kind of like imagine seeing this in the theater. This is definitely one of those movies. Like, I wish I was like back like at 1989 when the film like was hyped up so heavily. Like, just like going into movie theaters just to see this trailer, like stealing the posters. It might have been fun. Just like anticipation for this movie was high, and Michael Keaton as Batman and Kim Basinger as Vicky Vale. It's all great. It's all great actors. Like it's got good enough action. Batman is like, it made Batman feel like showed that he's a true badass. And I don't know, I can't help it. I love Batman 89, and I know like the other films are like better, but some part of me loves Batman 89 for some reason. It's just a fun summer movie, and it set the ground rules for like comic book movies to come. So yeah, Batman 89. Now, I would have just put these two movies together as, 2 in 1, but I don't think Dark Knight Rises is as good as The Dark Knights, just because of these little things. First off, I'm not going to talk about any of the nitpicks, because some of these nitpicks are stupid, like Bruce Wayne, oh wow, how was he able to get back on the island? Because he's Batman, and I think the time was out of order with when those places were taking place, alright? But I think, like, the fact that all the police officers in Gotham were all sent down is pretty stupid. And why is Gordon even, like, giving the commands? Like, he's in the hospital right now. He shouldn't be giving those commands. And they just should have sent a SWAT team down there. Also, I think Bane should have been handled better, especially with the twist. I think I know I'm actually kind of fine. The Talia al Ghul thing is fine. It's just how Bane is just killed off. I hate how Bane is just shot off by, Catwoman. Like, I think he should have deserved, like, a proper death, like, with Batman literally just, like, kind of actually does kill him. Like, I would like if Batman ends up accidentally killing him, like, as he, like, suffocates to death. Like, and he's asked, like, with his final words being, but I didn't escape the pit. And then the twist is finally revealed. Because, like, you kind of want to see Batman rise and defeat Bane. And you don't really get the feeling that he really defeated Bane. And I think the idea of Gotham turning into this, like, apocalyptic, like, relentless now, burning, rotted city with all, with now, no law and order, anarchy. It's, like, shown, for those first 3 minutes, but you don't really continue. Like, I feel like there should be, like, glasses, like, windows smashed, like, fire everywhere, people, like, getting mugged, just, like, everyone on the streets, but no one's on the streets. It's so, I don't know, that was kind of failed, and there's some cases, like the courtroom stuff with Scarecrow and the mug, that scene with, like, those two guys are beating up on the kid. But overall, this movie is actually, it's fun, and as, like, this big epic, how it concludes everything. That ending, I just love that ending with all the police. It's just that's a great moment. Probably one of the best, like, ending battle scenes. But Tom Hardy is Bane. Like, even though he turns out to be a minion for Talia, he's intimidating still. He still feels intimidating. Like, he probably is, like, the, like, number one henchman. Like, out of all the Bond villains, like Jaws or Oddjob, like, and other henchmen, he's the number one best, because he's just imitating, even when you watch it, like, Talia al Ghul, like, still doesn't take away his, like, the mysterious, like, badass of him. And I'm sorry, I still think Tom Hardy's Bane is still the best Bane, and it's definitely a redemption of Batman and Robin. And it's just a good ending to this trilogy, and it doesn't disappoint every time I watch it, because every time I feel like I'm going to dislike it less after watching The Dark Knight, but I never get that feeling. It's a dumb, big, epic spectacle of a Batman movie, and it has its flaws, but I still like it every time I watch it. And might be the best, also Joseph Gordon-Levitt might be the best Robin, and I like how they do it with he's, like, handing down the torch to be the next Batman. I think that's a nice twist. So, of course, nothing has topped The Dark Knight. No one has ever tried to top The Dark Knight. This is probably the hardest movie that has ever been surpassed. Not even Infinity War, Endgame, No Way Home, any of the MCU movies still haven't broken through this boundary that's The Dark Knight with its awesomeness. It's terrific writing, it's terrific action scenes, like practical stunt work. It's terrific villain, actor Heath Ledger, who had died and couldn't even come, sadly wasn't even in the third film and could have been maybe in a Marvel movie, who knows. But this movie is just phenomenal on how it goes into Batman, his choices of being a superhero, and the choice of, like, giving up, and the consequences of being one, and just everything about it, and the psychology of Harvey Dent's rise and fall. It's just an amazing comic book film. No one has ever topped it, and that's just because of the fact that it's a movie that let its director do whatever he wants, and not make a generic superhero movie where, it ends with Joker wanting to blow up something, but it's done in such a way that's not like he's gonna shoot a skybeam and destroy the world. No, he's just a guy who wants to see the world burn at the end. And it just ends with seeing this great man, this district attorney, fall from greatness, and it's all terrifically made. And that last shot is amazing. And no other Batman film has come to be as good as The Dark Knight, and no other Batman movie will be as good as The Dark Knight and be the best Batman film as The Dark Knight. So there you go, guys. That's my ranking. Thank you very much. This took a month's worth of watching Batman movies, so I think I'm going to start watching some of the Oscar nominations because I gotta get on that. Alright, thanks a lot for watching, subscribe, and Oscar ranking coming soon.